Beginning in 2020, about 25 pilot secondary schools will implement full subject-based banding, full SBB, one more acronym, with more schools joining in the subsequent years. How is full SBB different from vanilla SBB today? So there are three main differences. Number one, we will allow lower secondary school students to study more subjects at a higher level, not just English, MTL, math, and science today, but also geography, history, literature. Chemistry, biology, this is only available in upper secondary. As it may be difficult to ascertain the level suitable for students using just their PSLE results, MOE and schools will develop guidelines and assessment mechanisms, including using Secondary 1 year-end examination results. Number two difference. We will also allow students of Express and NA streams the flexibility to take a subject offered in NA and NT streams respectively, to broaden their learning and experiences, or in instances where customization will help the student. So Express stream students today are already exposed to technical subjects, such as design and technology. In time, Express students may take subjects offered in the normal streams, such as mobile robotics. Three, the third big difference. Beyond the academic aspects, full SBB will also give pilot schools an opportunity to reshape the social environment in schools to benefit their students. Day-to-day practices in schools play a big part in shaping a child's self-confidence, sometimes more than the academic curriculum. I learned this from Mr. Tan Chaw Pang, the principal of Boon Lay Secondary. Mr. Patrick Tay knows him very well. The late coming and absenteeism rates amongst normal stream students in Boon Lay Secondary had not been healthy. However, Chaw Pang observed that when it comes to CCA, all the students are very engaged. So in an unprecedented move, he figured, let's just change the way we organize classes. And after all, Boon Lay Secondary have a smaller environment, smaller school enrollment, so he gave him the flexibility. So he reorganized form classes according to CCAs rather than academic streams. And almost immediately, absenteeism, late coming rates fell drastically. I was fascinated by this unorthodox practice and decided to visit the school and speak to teachers and students. So I found out every morning students will gather in their CCA groups, which is their form class, for morning assembly. They also undergo character and citizenship education classes, learning journeys together as a form class based on CCA. For academic lessons, they then break out into different classes based on SBB. So I asked the students, why the big reduction in late coming and absenteeism rates when the principal changed the class organization? The students were frank. They told me many of them actually have personal and family problems. Teachers and counselors help, but they also need peer support, especially from their seniors and friends in their CCA group. So now they look forward to attending morning assembly, because this is when they meet their friends and seniors from their CCA groups. One student told me, now I can pour my heart out to my seniors every morning before assembly, even for 10 minutes. But to do so, I must come to school and come on time, and in fact 10 minutes earlier. Another normal stream student told me something quite profound. He said in the past during morning assembly, a teacher might admonish a noisy class and say, 4 NT, keep quiet. Immediately, all the NT students felt that they were singled out. Today, the teacher said, NCC, keep quiet. And the normal stream students felt, okay. The students who have gone through almost 2 years of the new form classes in Boon Lay Secondary, they have recently completed their secondary school national examinations. Across the school, results had shown improvement. MOE, we will need to study their results further, but there is now a genuine belief that the social environment of the school can positively influence a student's academic behavior and performance. I also visited another school, Edgefield Secondary, which has decided to reorganize form classes to include students from all 3 streams starting this year. Not by CCA, but just academic classes, but mixed students from all 3 streams. So each secondary 1 form class goes through about half their lessons together for subjects like CCE, design and technology, art, music, PE, where there is little need to customize lessons based on academic abilities. And the other half comprising academic subjects, English, MTL, math, science, they are grouped according to SBB. It has only been a couple of months, but feedback has been generally good. The students I spoke to, they have no comparison, so they all say it's very good, very happy, as expected. The teachers noticed that students were helping each other more frequently in class. And students from the normal stream, they are stepping forward to take up leadership roles during group work or project teamwork. I chatted with several students at the canteen, and I asked them, you all think this is great, how about your parents? And they said their parents felt it was okay. One student said, my father thought this is awesome. This is awesome. The principal, Mr. Lee Pek Ping, told me that, however, a handful of parents were concerned that this might slow down learning in class. Pek Ping painstakingly explained how SBB work, that what students are learning together as a form class and how classes for academic subjects are still banded based on the learning abilities of the students. And through this explanation, he managed to address the concerns of most parents. He told me a small number of parents were still worried and felt that had they known, they wouldn't have sent their child to Edgefield Secondary. I understand the concerns of these parents, but Edgefield Secondary was making the right trade-off to develop students both academically and socially. It was in its own way taking the lead in reshaping our existing culture for the better. Schools such as Boon Lay and Edgefield are important trailblazers, and I thank them. After several years of progressively implementing SBB, and with good outcomes both academically and socially, the time is right for us to move to full SBB. Implementing full SBB will be a multi-year transition. We should not underestimate the challenge of this move. There are major operational challenges, such as timetabling. Schools will need time to learn, adapt, and innovate. By the start of 2024, I just talked about the milestone of 2020, now 2024, we will be ready to take the next step, which is the most crucial. 2 things will happen. 1, we would have rolled out full SBB and the new ways of organizing form classes across the education system. The pioneering practices in Boon Lay and Edgefield will by then become the norm. 2, to reflect the reality of full SBB as a more flexible single course, we will enroll the first batch of Secondary 1 students who will graduate with a common secondary school certificate. This common certificate will combine the current O-level, NA, and NT certificates. It will list the subjects completed and the standard band of each subject, very much like what Dr. Intan described yesterday. And we are not unfamiliar with this concept. It is actually similar to A-level certificate for JCs, where the certificate states the subjects and the standards they are completed in, whether it is H1, H2, or H3. For secondary school, we won't use H, we will use G. G1, G2, G3. G stands for general. I have to go find out what H stands for. G1 will roughly correspond to today's NT standard, G2 to NA standard, and G3 to Express standard. Singapore and Cambridge will co-brand this new certificate. We are both strong international brand names in education, and this, by working together, we will enhance the recognition and value of this certificate. So with full SBB implemented, form classes reorganized across the board, and a combined secondary school education certificate, we would have effectively merged Express, NA, NT into a single course. The Express, NA, NT streams, together with its label, will be phased out. So from 3 education streams, we now have one secondary education, many subject bands. We will no longer have fishes swimming down 3 separate streams. We have one broad river, each fish negotiating its own journey.